a couple of interesting things going on astrologically. I do want to make sure that this is recording. Okay, it is. It is. Great. So, there are a lot of things going on right now. And first off, the thing I am super excited for right now is the fact that we are entering autumn, okay? So tomorrow is autumn equinox. And actually, I believe the sun moves exactly into the sign of Libra around like 2 p.m.-ish, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I am extremely excited for that because it feels like we're starting a brand new cycle all over again. And not to mention, if you guys are living in the Eastern Hemisphere, I hope that's the right way to say it, the partial solar eclipse with the new moon in Virgo actually happened, at least for where I live, at I think around again like 3:50 p.m. today. But here's the thing. As I'm filming this right now, the moon has actually already moved itself into the sign of Libra. And there are a couple of other planets that are moving themselves very, very soon into a couple different constellations. And not to mention, like, we are at the tail of this eclipse portal. Technically, a lot of people are going to tell you that the eclipse portal has closed today because of this new moon in Virgo. In reality, the energy of an eclipse can literally last months, weeks, depending on the download, depending on the release and the shedding that you are moving through within this moment in time. So there is a lot of different things that I can really dive into when it comes to what this eclipse portal was all about, and the fact that tomorrow literally starts a brand new cycle, and we're moving into the day where literally the night and the day are balanced. Like, we're having equal night and equal day, and there's so much symbolism to that when it comes to your inner world and how we're supposed to kind of marry the darkness with the light and find that equilibrium in the middle. But not to mention, right, eclipse season, literally, I don't know about you, okay, but for me, eclipse season really bit me in the booty this time around. We usually go through eclipse portals twice a year, and I know that the next one will be coming or happening sometime around March of 2026. So until then, you know, this eclipse season was pretty intense. At least for me, I'm a fixed sign. I'm a Leo, Virgo rising, new moon in Virgo, right? So Virgo rising is not fun. And there has been a lot of things as a collective that we have been extremely called to look at inside of our own inner worlds, to kind of look back on, to ask ourselves, are the things that we've been avoiding the most inside of ourselves are the very things that we need to look at more of, because are they the things that are making our relationships around us suffer? And the reason why I'm bringing relationships up into this is because we're moving into Libra season tomorrow. And Libras are the scales, right? Libras are ruled by the 7th house. 7th house is about like ideal partnerships, relationships, and also your descendant sign. And so it's kind of like how I see it from a spiritual and self-growth perspective. It's like the part of you that you're not going to let change for anybody. And it's also the type of energy that you tend to find the most healing for you when you are meeting others in your surroundings. So for example, my 7th house, you would have to check out your natal chart to see where your 7th house lies. For me, it's in Pisces. So, you know, in my life, I tend to attract a lot of different Piscean energy within people, but it also means that, you know, what I seek for in those types of connections that ground me and support me the most are that idyllic energy that Piscean energy possesses. You know, the head in the clouds type of energy. It helps me be a kid again. Anything that can help me escape stressors. And that's the thing that my soul thrives in. And so, you know, I highly recommend that you guys check it out for you to see where your 7th house lies. But with that as well, Libra season, right? We're moving into it, but we are also fresh out of eclipse season. There was a couple things that happened. So yes, there was a new moon in Virgo today, but on September 7th for Eastern Standard Time, I believe September 7th, there was a full moon in Pisces as well in a lunar eclipse. There was a lot of things asked to come to the surface in our inner world to be released and shed for good. New moon in Virgo, we had 2 new moon in Virgos. I don't know if you guys realize that this is the 2nd new moon in Virgo, and it's actually a very rare event, and this is why this new moon in Virgo was actually called a black moon, because it's the 2nd new moon in the same sign that's happened in, I think, less than like 31 days apart. Very, very trippy stuff, because I actually didn't even know that was a thing until recently. But with that, it's like we're being given a second chance to be like, okay, was I completely brutally honest with myself about the thing that I knew I have to like release and like work on and get better at? Or, you know, can I be more brutally honest right now? And that's kind of what this solar eclipse was kind of asking of us and giving us an opportunity to do. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my tea. But not only that, I have my little handy dandy notes here. It was kind of forcing us to really just look at the truth beneath the surface of the personas and the mask that we try to display to make ourselves feel stronger in the moments where in reality we're feeling the most vulnerable. We just don't want anybody to see it. And with that, right now the sun is opposing Saturn. The sun is in opposition with Saturn. And not only that, the moon is opposing Neptune right now. It's trine Pluto, and it's also trine Uranus, with Mercury having a semi-square with Lilith right now. So the energies of these aspects tend to typically last like a couple of hours, the moon aspects, because the moon is like the fastest thing that moves in the sky, one of them. And then Mercury, I think, is like second in line. So Mercury semi-square Lilith is also going to be lasting for like, I think you're going to feel the effects of it for 1 to 2 days. But basically what this is saying, without all the gibberish words, right? There's a lot of intensity here. I'm not going to be like, I'm trying not to sugarcoat this for you guys. I really feel like as a collective, we are all being forced to step up to the plate and be brutally honest with ourselves about the things that we know we shouldn't be carrying into our future. And this is really source, whatever the F you believe in, giving you a second chance to say, okay, were you really honest with yourself that first time when you had a chance to release, when you had a chance to take the veil off of your face and see what's really beneath there? Because, like I said, this is the 2nd new moon in Virgo in a row for this year. It's really, really trippy stuff. Normally we have a new moon and a full moon with a sign, like one sign once a year. But the fact that we're having 2 new moon and Virgos back to back, guys, it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And in this eclipse portal holding that energy, and then tomorrow we're moving into autumn equinox, guys, this is the most divinely planned out time to start being brutally honest with yourself about the things that you know have been controlling you for far too long. What are the things that you've been giving too much control over in your life? Because I'm telling you right now, if you're sitting here listening to this, whether it's in the replay, whether it's in the live right now, if you're asking yourself, okay, I don't know, I think that you do know. I think that there is something that you have not been looking at. I think that there is something inside you that you know you could be doing better at. And it's something that probably makes you feel pretty uncomfortable. Me even talking like this, speaking like this so bluntly can make things feel super uncomfortable. Because I know that we all have an area in our life, we have an area in ourselves that's lacking attention, that's lacking love, that's lacking validation, that's lacking support from the version, the person that wants, from the thing that they're seeking validation from the most, which is ourselves. And that's called your shadow. With autumn equinox right here, literally tomorrow, starting I think midday, this is where we're being asked to marry both the light aspects of ourselves and the dark aspects of ourselves. Just like with the new moon in the partial eclipse, kissing the sun in that moment. We are being asked to shed anything where there is shame, shed anything inside of us where there is guilt, where there are fears, where there are things of feeling this need for control that is literally, like, the more that you desire control, the more you're actually going to hold yourself back in life. You're not going to realize it. It's very, very subtle, because the need to control, what it does is it kind of makes you feel like you're having this thirst for like being able to have your awareness and like your surroundings with everything around you. But when you're doing that, you're so focused on trying to be like hyper vigilant that you're losing all the little breadcrumbs of information that's being thrown at you in those moments. And what's kind of funny, I was trying to prepare for this live today because I knew that we were going to be talking about astrology, but we were also going to be doing a collective reading. And funny enough, I was planning on just using one deck. 3 minutes before I had to start this up for you guys, I actually ended up feeling called to get a couple cards ready in advance. And what's very interesting is I wanted to, before we keep going into all this astrological stuff, I really wanted to share something with you guys that came through in my cards, in my Talisman Oracle deck. And we had Let Go. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. And then we also got Eternal Charisma. And I thought this was beautiful. Not to mention that there is a crab that reminds me of the sign of Cancer in the Let Go card. Because when you think of a crab, they pinch, right? And when they close their like claws on you, they don't let go, and it hurts very, very bad, right? And that's kind of what I feel like we've all been doing in one area of our life right now, or for a while now. When it comes to eclipse season, we need to keep in mind, this is a cycle that's been happening all the way back to 2006, okay? I was 6 years old during that time, which is really trippy to think about, but there are things in our life that we have still been very aggressively gripping on. And it's hard to look at those things. But here's the thing, we literally have the moon doing all these crazy fancy things right now in the sky with Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, giving us an opportunity to be brutally honest with ourselves right now. So we don't have to keep dragging this dead weight behind our feet anymore into our future. What can you do right now to ask yourself, did I really look at all those skeletons in the closet that I said maybe I did look at maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago in total since then? Because I'm telling you right now, there's probably somewhere that you rushed to look at. You didn't want to look at it. It was too hard. It was uncomfortable. That's the thing that could be holding you back right now, though. You have to be willing. You have to be open to those things. And with this eclipse, I don't know about you guys, but during the portal, there was people coming back into my life, people that I didn't even think twice of showing up again. I've had revelations, I've had truths being exposed to me that I didn't think I didn't know that they were even gonna unravel the way that they did. And I let go of people during this time. I have let go of certain things that I didn't know I thought was gonna be part of my future and my journey forever. And that's what eclipse season's all about. Sometimes it shows you some brutal truths. Sometimes it shows you things that you didn't think were there until it's right in front of you. And you're like, oh shit, like this is here, this is real, and I guess I gotta deal with it. I guess I gotta work with it. I guess I got to adapt to it. I guess I gotta persevere through it. But here's the thing, a lot of the time, especially in this collective, especially with societal standards right now, right? We're so focused on the 9 to 5, we're so focused on the hustle, we're so focused on trying to work and grow and become this and that, right? That's so much pressure that we put on ourselves that when the time actually comes, sometimes we're gonna shut down. Sometimes we might actually end up running away from the very things that we're trying to become because those things, we put so much pressure on ourselves at its entirety that it's like, when the moment comes, do we really have what it takes? Imposter syndrome sets in. I've been dealing with that as a cycle for a very long time, and I bet a lot of you guys can probably relate. With this eclipse, we were asked to shed everything that is not us. Let it burn. Let it go to the ground. Let Mama Earth absorb it and not you. And instead, step more into your truth. Step more into your power. Step into the very things that you've been avoiding, because those very things, the second you marry them, the second you integrate that into the wholeness of what makes you you, that's where your real power is meant to rise. With this autumn equinox starting right now, guys, we are literally being called to look at the very, very things that we've been shoving in the closet. Right now, literally from today to I think like 2 p.m. tomorrow, these are our last moments where Mars, the planet of passion, the planet of aggression, the planet of motivation, like figuring out where your drive to go do things are, right? That planet is going to be moving out of Libra, and it's going to be moving right into Scorpio, which is like one of the most freaking intense signs you can think of. What does that mean? Because of this new moon in Virgo, because the moon is now officially in Libra, lots of things are going to be coming to the air, but specifically with relationships, specifically with the things that you've been keeping in the closet. If there are relationships in your life that you know could use some evolving, that could use some development, some progression, right? Some healing. This is going to be the season, that's a good word, for the next 3 weeks where you're going to be kind of focused and drawn, pulled to looking at facets of your relationships. It could be like love, romantic relationships. It could be friends. It's like, you're going to know the relationship I'm talking about right now. If you ask yourself, okay, like what is that relationship I need to work on? Oh, I know what they're talking about. Ask yourself that. That's what you need to look at, okay, for the next 3 weeks. You're going to be called to kind of explore that, and it's going to be easier for you to want to call things out. I am going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, because Venus did just move into Virgo, I think like 2 or 3 days ago. I think it was Friday when it moved into Virgo. Venus is the planet of love and all that stuff, right? So Virgo is a little bit of a perfectionist. We all know this, right? The inner critic, all that energy. Sometimes to the point where they'll self-sabotage because they overthink so hard. They do rule the mind. Oh no, the stomach. The when it comes to like the body part that Virgo rules, they rule the digestion. That's what I completely mixed it up. But with that means that what are the things in your relationships where your stomach starts getting tied up in knots? Where do you feel butterflies? Where do you feel like you're gonna hurl? What are those truths that you're holding back from saying because you're so scared of stepping on that person's toes? Because that's what you're going to be called to look at. And I am telling you, the more that you kind of let yourself repress it during the next 3 weeks, you're going to be more likely to explode. Okay, so I'm just saying, giving you guys a heads up, try to make sure that you focus more on having those sit downs and asking yourself, where can you find compromise instead of me versus them mentality? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to compassion, when it comes to real love in certain connections, whether it is romantic or familial or a friendship, platonic, right? You'll know they care if they're willing to meet you halfway with something, but you need to be doing the same exact thing. And if there's something holding you back in that could be pride and that could be ego. And then you have to ask yourself, what are you so afraid of doing? What are you so afraid of sacrificing? What are you so afraid of letting go? And again, that's where you look at the shadow. So again, one more time, reminder, please remember, during this time, you have an opportunity to really look at those things that you're ashamed of inside. I know we all have them. You know, why don't you, even if it's like, okay, let's say you guys, anyone that's watching this has gone through therapy and they have worked on themselves enough where they're like proud of where they come, but at the same time, they have trouble thinking about who they used to be. That's a good example of somebody avoiding a part of them that is still there, but it's in the background now. That part of you still has things you can learn from it. Like, there's still wisdom to gain in those areas. But if you don't rekindle that relationship with that version of you, with the version of yourself you have now, they're going to constantly be feeling alone. And there's going to be internalized rage that could be actually the very thing holding you back on the surface. You know, if you're somebody who feels like you lack motivation to go get the things you want in life, there's still inner rage there left to be discovered and explored. And that's why again, with autumn equinox right here, the day and nights are going to be equal. Use this as a time to find your middle right now. Use this as a time to ask yourself, how can I marry more of my dark with my light? Because at the end of the day, to be a whole person, I need to have both, not just one or the other. There's no need to be ashamed of the things that make you human. You know, there was a time in my life where I used to be a really bad manipulator. And this is way before I found healing. But what I'm trying to say is that those parts, I know they are not me. They were just things, mechanisms, survival things that my body, my brain, that the PTSD I had in that moment made me do because I felt like I had to in order to stay alive, right? Because I was so freaking scared of getting hurt. Because I was so freaking scared of feeling pain. That's how much yourself, your own body loves you. That's how much your own brain loves you. It just has trouble showing it. And sometimes it doesn't know how to show it in the way that makes sense. It'll show up in dark ways, in nasty ways, in ways that can hurt others around you. And that's why it's important to marry those parts. Because the more awareness you bring to those very things that you might be ashamed of, maybe all they needed at that time was the love that only you were able to provide for them. But instead, you've locked them away. Instead, you didn't want to look at it anymore. This is where you have an opportunity to look at those things again. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't, if you avoid, if you keep running away from the things that you know had a big rule over your life at one point, even just reflecting, going back into your inner world and saying, okay, like, why am I so scared of this thing? Why am I so scared of that time? What would happen if you sat in a room by yourself, looked up at the ceiling, and just thought about those very things? What would happen if you looked back at that version of you and saw if this version of you can go meet them there? And what would they say to them? I'm telling you right now, you have no clue how much wisdom they hold. And it could be the very thing that can help you in this reality. So I feel like that was some really cool words that I had to say. That was a mix of channeled energy, but also what's going on astrologically. I'm just going to take a look. Oh, I did forget to mention. Yes, I did bring it up earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Sun is opposing Saturn, okay? And what this means, this is where clarity meets discipline, and what you start now only lasts if it's built in truth. Saturn is the planet of karma, is the planet of responsibility. It is the father of all the other planets in the solar system. When it is opposing the star, our big bright star in the sky, the sun, we are shining truth, clarity, on the areas of our lives that we know we should be holding ourselves more accountable in. The areas in our lives that we know we lack responsibility. See, I'm already getting goosebumps talking about this because I know this stuff makes you guys uncomfortable. It makes me freaking uncomfortable. I was there at the end of the screen and I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy shit, like they're right. Like, you know, I'm telling you right now that you guys all probably have an area in your life that you know you're kind of sucking at right now. And that's absolutely okay because that's what makes you human. And I'm telling you, from human to human, I have areas in my life that I suck at too. We can't be good at everything, right? But here's the thing, is that an area that they're sucking stuff at because you're so focused on developing another area. Because then that's valid. But if that area is there and you're sucking at it, because you're just avoiding it, because you know that that's the very thing that can help you grow, but you're still too afraid to look at it, maybe it's something else. Maybe the reason why you didn't want to look at it was because of fear, was because you know that the second you do, you release the control you thought you had over your whole life. It's all illusion. Because you know that you're going to want to do something about it once you see it. So, you know, just some food for thought. Right now, too, just to make sure you guys be careful, Moon is opposing Neptune. So Neptune is in the early sign of Aries. Moon is in Libra, like I told you guys. be careful to not take things too personally today. Be careful with that for the rest of the night. If you live with a partner, if you have anyone that you do live with, if they say something that gets like you read it the wrong way, you take it the wrong way, the way that you're absorbing things now might be a little bit confusing. So try not to take things too personally. Your emotions, remember, feelings fade, feelings come and go. When you have feelings, when you interpret or absorb someone else's words, we have to be careful, because the way that we take things in, it's only being filtered through our own personal trauma that we've gone through in our life. And so we need to ask ourselves, is how we're taking this in, is how we're interpreting this exactly how they wanted us to take it? Because most of the time it's not. We're going to assume things before we can even ask questions about getting the clarity on what that other person meant. So just be really careful with that. Keep that in mind moving forward, because this is going to be a time where emotions are heightened, okay? Some of you guys might be feeling like you're going through a massive release right now, but you don't know how to put words into it. Like, for example, for me today, I woke up this morning feeling energized. I woke up feeling good. The closer I got to the midday, I guess around where the new moon in Virgo hit, my energy levels just shot. I'm like feeling so exhausted right now, and I have no reason, like no clue why. And I just feel like I'm grieving. I feel like I'm grieving a part of myself that I think just deserves, like, what's it called? A moment of silence. I feel like I'm grieving a part of myself that deserves a moment of silence right now. Like, they deserve to understand, for me to give them the recognition that I never gave them at one point. I used to suck at giving myself recognition for all the hard work I've done to get to where I am today. And I still have trouble with it, because I always wanted to be the best. I always wanted to do enough. And for me, I think one of the bigger wounds that I struggled with for the last, maybe since 2006, is this feeling of never feeling good enough. You know, and I know that that's my own story to carry. And I know those are the very things that I'm in the process of releasing. And through that, I need to release the imposter syndrome. I need to release a lot of the things that have been holding me back. And again, it brings me back to these cards, letting go, you know, things to let go, because in reality, you have the ability to be happy right now. You just have to give yourself the opportunity to. And with that, I do think I gave you guys all the heads up I had to when it came to this stuff. I think that, again, one more time, you have been warned. Whatever light, wishy-washy, weird, confusing energy that might have been in the air for you for the last couple of weeks is going to get cleared up tomorrow, starting tomorrow, because Mars is moving into Scorpio. So I'm just warning you guys. There's going to be another part of you that's going to be fighting you on the inside saying, cut the bullshit, bro. Like, let it go. Stop like making white lies up for yourself. Stop making excuses up for yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Saturn is retrograde, right? It moved back into Pisces. That was fun, right? And this is me being sarcastic, because Piscean energy with Saturn is never fun. It's literally showing you all the areas where you're creating illusion after illusion, and it's telling you to tear it down. But there is beauty in that, because those are where the most transformation happen. And again, with transformation, look, we had transformation coming up at the back of the deck. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So we are all going through this right now, whether we want to admit it or not. Anything that has been released during this eclipse season, remember, it is meant to be released. It's not meant to come with you in this next season of your life. And if it had to be with a person, remember, people are here for a season, a reason, and a lifetime, or a lifetime. And it's through life that we figure it out. Now, if you guys feel like the biggest thing that you're lacking the ability to release right now is control, remember, most of the time, the need for control comes through a fear of, like, time. And in reality, unfortunately, time is an illusion that we constructed to make ourselves feel in control over it, right? Time. But the thing we can control is our very, very now. What can you do right now for yourself, for your future self, for all the versions of you that wish they had this version of you now in your past, to show up and do the very things that take you one step closer to the dream life you've always wanted for yourself, or the dream relationship, or the dream just version of you in general. What can you do? What, during the next 6 months from now and then 6 months forward, how can you step up? How can you commit? What is a new pattern? What is a new habit that you can bring to the service for yourself? And actually, I think this is where I should bring up the journaling prompts that I was able to come up with when I was trying to set up and organize this entire little stream for you guys. So I think I was like trying to figure out how to go in the chat here, and I don't know why it's not letting me. Oh, I just saw it right now. Okay, so I'm gonna write them down there, but I'm gonna read them out loud first. What illusion, habit, or pattern am I finally ready to release for good? Where am I being asked to face reality and take responsibility instead of avoiding? And what new rhythm, boundary, or commitment will help me feel grounded and supported now? Okay, so I'm going to write that in the chat box if I spoke too fast. And by the way, guys, hello. I just saw 2 of your messages in the live. I'm so sorry I didn't see that. I haven't done a live stream in such a long time. So hi. But okay, I think now is where we should definitely move into this little reading. I did make a cute little setup for you guys for the collective reading today. I'm very excited to do it because I just feel like we're all going through like a massive level up in our lives, and it's so uncomfortable but oh so worth it. We got to remember 2026 is going to be the year of the horse in Chinese astrology. Right now we're in the year of the snake, so we're all shedding things that we don't really enjoy shedding. You know, it's not a comfy process, but it's oh so freaking worth it. It's what makes us stronger. It's what helps us rise higher. And just remember, if you're doubting wherever you're at in life right now and you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're at, you don't even know like if you're moving forward at this point anymore, just know that you're exactly where you are meant to be. You're not supposed to know everything all the time. If you don't know everything right now, if you don't understand it yet, I'm telling you it's because you're in the middle of that transformational point. You're in that integration period before the clarity comes in and kicks you right where you least expect it. And it's only going to come the more you let go and you realize that you have a lot more control over finding emotional fulfillment right now if you tried. And it's just about surrendering. It's about surrendering to the things that you know you can't control, which is the time. But you can control your now. You can choose how you want to show up in situations. You can choose how you want to react to things. And this is where eclipse season kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of put ourselves to the test. And I just want to hold space for anybody that may feel like they are grieving a version of themselves that they know just is not who you are anymore. I send them so much love because I know that feeling right now. I'm going through some heavy, heavy grief right now. And remember that this version of you underneath all that old skin is one version of you closer to exactly where you want to be in life. Think about that. So with that, I think this is a perfect time for us to get into the reading. So we're going to be pulling out one card for each of the questions I have here. And the reason why I set it up this way is because I wanted to honor eclipse season as a whole. I wanted to honor the sun opposing Saturn energy because that shit is intense and it's like literally heightening all the emotions here. It's heightening all the brutal cutthroat energy right now. And then we're also going to be pulling out an energy for the moon in Libra because Libra season is literally tomorrow, and I want to make sure we can figure out how to kind of work on our relationships a little bit moving forward. Because I'm telling you guys, when it comes to healing, when it comes to self-growth, your relationships are going to be impacted, okay? Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes the person that you're in relationship with is like, whoa, like you'll throw them off guard. It's a given when it comes to healing. It's a given when it comes to self-growth. But here is the thing. We're going to be looking at it. So do not worry. And that is what Libra season is all about. It's about finding the balance in the scales. It's about finding compromise. It's about finding a place where both parties can exist in peace. And that's why I kind of like Libra energy, but you know, they can be a little bit fear of confrontation, but don't worry, Mars and Scorpio is going to fix that. So like I said, there's going to be some uncomfortable energies. Okay, so the first thing is release. We're going to be looking at what is asked to be released during this eclipse portal, okay? Just so we have a collective energy, and just so in case some of you guys never had a chance to really reflect on your own self-growth during this eclipse portal since September 7th, we're going to get an opportunity to do that right now all together, okay? So what is being asked to be released during this eclipse portal for everyone watching and that will watch this live stream? Let us take a look. What is being asked to be released during this eclipse portal? Okay, so we actually got two cards coming out. We have the Four of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, but they both came up in reverse. So here are the cards. The Four of Wands. I really hope that you guys can see this. I'm going to check my laptop. Is it upright? Oh, it's backwards. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is the Four of Wands. And this is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, but they both came up in reverse. So the first things first. What we're being asked to release is this feeling, this belief that we are in, okay, this is actually hurting my heart because it hurts me to think that there are people listening to this or that will listen to this that think that they still can't get to their dream life. Why do you think you are incapable? Why do you think that you don't have what it takes? Why do you think that where you're at right now, you can't? Because you can. There are things you can do. You just need to think a little bit bigger. You need to look around you. You need to really be realistic about all the resources you are really able to reach at right now. Because it really feels like a lot of us are in this mindset of self-doubt, self-deception. Like maybe some of you guys are deceiving yourselves into thinking that you can't get there. Is it because you were brainwashed growing up? Is it because you think that because your parents didn't get it or whoever raised you couldn't have theirs, you can't have yours? Because that is the type of thing that I would call, personally, in my opinion, generational trauma. And it's where you are able to step up to the plate and show up for yourself in this life, in this lineage, in this era, and say, hey, just because they couldn't do it doesn't mean that I can't do mine. Because I believe in myself more. Because I know that I have what it takes. Because I'm going to show up for myself when no one else can. Those are the moments where you need to rely on yourself the most. Can you keep showing up for yourself when no one else is there? And for with the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse, it shows to me that there is this feeling of a wobbly foundation right now in some of you guys. There's this fear that because it's scary and it's new, it's overwhelming. And I'm putting that in quotes because I feel like, I don't know, I'm energetically picking up that whoever is watching this, some of you guys psych yourself out. Maybe some of you guys overthink or say, oh, I'm getting overwhelmed. But in reality, you're just you ever think about something so hard that you're not moving and all you're doing is just aggressively thinking about that thing to the point where it paralyzes you and then you drain yourself because you were overthinking that you don't, you never even had a chance to actually take action. And then the next day comes and you try to do it and maybe the same thing happens. That's analysis paralysis. I believe that's what it's called. And it feels like this is what you're being called to release right now, because that's the thing that is holding you back. And I am very curious. So we're going to keep going and see where else this is leading us, because then the second thing we're going to be looking at is the reset. So we looked at when it wants to be released. Sorry, I'm just turning off my low power thing that popped up. Now we're going to be looking at the reset. So what new pattern, habit, or truth wants to be planted now in honor of this new moon in Virgo partial eclipse that has happened? So what is the reset that wants to come through for the collective, for whoever is watching this stream or will watch this stream? What is the reset that wants to come in? What is the reset that wants to come in? Okay, so again, we got 2 cards coming out. And these are both upright. So we actually have, at the back of the deck, energy being the moon. Underneath that is the 5 of Wands. Yeah, like we're still fighting ourselves. Oh, my heart. We have the 3 of Pentacles with the 5 of Cups. Okay. I'm literally getting so emotional right now. I don't know. You guys really had a dream. You guys had something. You thought that, like, I'm saying, like, you had something as in, like, mentally, like, you had a desire for something. This could be a person, a type of love. It could be a project. It could be, and like a lifestyle. It could be something. Whatever. It could be anything. Sorry, not something. And something happened that led you guys think that it can't happen anymore for you. That, like, you're cursed, that, like, you're incapable. Again, that same energy's coming through. But the cards 3 of Pentacles with the 5 of Cups is actually a card pair duo when it comes where it's landing into reset, where you're actually being called to do it again. But this time, do it with the support that you lacked originally. A lot of you guys used to, like, hide away or not give yourself permission to, like, get help, ask for help, do research on it, or, like, look for stuff. I don't know. Like, there's something here that's coming through with, like, this fear of feeling, like, weak or being portrayed as weak. And you're just human. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys, the biggest challenge in your life has a lot to do with just letting yourself be human. Like, you're not a robot. You don't have to do everything 110% and give it all you've got 24/7, because that creates burnout. That creates the nervous system dysregulation in the body. And we're cyclical beings in nature. Like, we are not meant to be turned on 24/7. Not in a sexual way. I'm talking about, like, the on button in our life. Like, we're not supposed to have high energy 24/7. And if we do, it's because our nervous system is dysregulated. It thinks that state is safe, is the spot where equilibrium lies. And then if that's the case for anyone that's listening to this or watching this, then it actually means that sitting still is probably the hardest thing you can do, and you hate sitting still because your nervous system is at a heightened state, and that means that you're stuck on fight or flight. And then that's a completely different thing. But you guys are all being asked to go back and try again. The thing that you doubted, the thing that you let go of, the thing that you thought you were incapable of getting, you are being asked to plant seeds for that, but how can you plant seeds for it now? And I really feel like with the 3 of Pentacles coming through, you are being asked to get support. You are being asked to step out of your comfort zone when it comes to sharing your ideas, when it comes to sharing your truth. Maybe this could even be like sharing with yourself, like marrying your shadow. And what I mean by that is like journaling. Like, literally write down some of the things that I'm saying when it comes to the things that you've been avoiding, the things that you thought you were incapable of getting, and just see what comes out. Sometimes we just need to put a pen to freaking paper and just like literally write, I wanted to do this, but then you have no clue. I'm telling you, your subconscious has so many things that it wants to pour out and release, but you never give it the time of day. If you were to just write down, like, there was a thing I wanted to do, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I've done this so many times in my own personal self-growth and healing journey where I thought I was just going to do like a half a page of stuff. And then out of nowhere, I can't stop writing. And then out of nowhere, my trauma starts coming up. And then there's things that I didn't realize. And then I literally 5 pages in, my hand is cramping. I have ink because I'm left-handed all over the side of my hand. Like, you just have to give yourself permission to let go right now. And this is the literal best time to do it. Do it. And I'm telling you, the best time to do it is right before the equinox starts, which is, for me, Eastern Standard Time, right? I think around 3 p.m. sun moves into Libra. That'll be the beginning of autumn equinox. So, and that's tomorrow. So and Mars is in Scorpio too, so like this is the best time to be brutally honest, because then Mars in Scorpio is going to light a fire under your butt, and you're going to be like no BS energy, and you're like, okay, like, let's start getting to it, like let's start doing this, so this is the best time. Okay, let's see now the third thing we're going to look at, responsibility, because right, I told you the sun is opposing Saturn. And I am not going to ignore it because it is an intense thing, and I think we all need to hold ourselves accountable in some area. So, where must we face reality or step into responsibility? Let us see that now. So, whoever comes across this stream that watches it or watches the replay, whoever is listening to it at this point, where must they face reality and step into responsibility? Let us see. Okay, we have one card coming out, and it is the Hermit in reverse. Interesting. So we have the Hermit in, so I'm just showing you it upright. I'm sorry if there's like a little bit of a glare. So this is the Hermit, but you guys have received it in reverse. Okay. You guys have been too freaking distracted, and you're doing it on purpose. You are purposely trying to keep yourself busy. You are purposely saying, I have all these other things I need to tend to. I have this problem that isn't even mine that I want to go fix and take care of because I'm a good person, right? I have to, I must, I got to. You hear all these words that are coming out of my mouth? I'm acting like I don't have a choice. Right? That I'm obligated to. Feels like there's a language that's coming through here that some of you guys might have married for far too long that is making you think that you don't have a choice, you don't have say, you don't have free will. Why is that there? Why is the survival mentality still there? And I'm not like mad at you guys, it frustrates me because I love everyone here. I send love to everyone. I have no hate in my body. Okay, I was raised to believe hate is a very strong word, and I will stand to it. I just strongly dislike things. But with that, I know that there is a part of all of us that is wounded and that just wants some love, right? We're still not giving it to them. The more that you guys keep running away from your truth, the more you guys keep thinking that, oh, this isn't really what I want because you're trying to please and appeal to everyone else around you, the more suffering you're going to go through in your life, the less you're going to actually attract the things that you're trying to get in life. And it seems to me with the Hermit being in reverse, and, oh yeah, I just realized the Six of Wands in the back of the deck, it's like the thing that you need to take accountability for is the mask, the version of you that you've been trying to show to everybody, and that's not really you. I feel like there are some people that are listening to this or that will listen to this that feel like, oh, sorry, I just saw your message, purrs and furs. But that feels like you guys are like trying to put on a certain persona to like appeal to others, when in reality, that's never been you. It was just a you that you molded, that was birthed out of being like, to get recognition, to get attention. And not in a negative or like a self-absorbing way. This feels more like for protection. Oh my God, I want to cry. Why do I want to cry? Like, this just hurts my heart, guys. Some of you guys have been so heavily rejected by people you love, people that meant the freaking world to you at one point, or I mean, my God, you should have meant the world to them at one point, and it never felt that way. So you thought you had to put on this face, you had to put on this mask, persona, to show up in life and just freaking exist. Because you thought that if you were you, no one would notice you existing. And it led you to craving like attention or like recognition, I guess that's a better word. Applause for your accomplishments in life, for your, I guess, moments of success and achievement. And But here's where it gets interesting. It's like that mask was built for that, and the desire and the hunger for those things. But that is the very part of you that holds that mask up without shame, that is lacking that love from you or themselves. Like, you're not giving yourself any of that. All that stuff that you've been craving and hungry for that developed this persona and mask in the first place, it never had to be a thing if you just gave it to yourself. And the reason why it's been on a cycle of this nature and it's been there for such a long time is because you never gave it to yourself. It's like that was never an option. And that's not fair to you. It was never fair to you. It's like, what makes you think, and this is not supposed to come out rude, okay? Just know when I'm talking, it's like I'm having a one-on-one with a shadow, okay? And I have no judgment here. I literally just told you I used to be a master manipulator in the past, okay? Before I met healing and all my self-growth work and doing all this stuff. So I'm just telling you, I'm human too. And it's like, what makes you think, right, that if you didn't love this part of you, that anyone else would? What makes you think that if you didn't do it that second, that no one else would notice it after? Because the second if you had just accepted that side of you to start, maybe people would have noticed, because you would have made sure that they would never miss out or disregard that side of you ever again. Because that's what happens when we own our wholeness, when we embody our wholeness and we accept it, we embrace it. Even the ugly parts, the good, the bad, all that stuff is a part of you. And it was there for good reason. At that time, it was essential. And I think right now you're being called to hold yourself accountable and take responsibility for the versions of you that never had a chance to frickin' shine. You have dimmed your light for far too long, making you think that that was the way you had to survive and just be and exist in life because no one cared enough to look at you at one point. But like, that was just one point, period. Like, that trauma, that experience, it was just one point. And it's not here right now. And what I'm trying to say, that isn't to disregard and deny that point, right? But to wear it on your sleeve like armor, like it's a part of you, is what led you to feeling like you are incapable of achieving your dreams right now. And that's why, for example, I was talking about autumn equinox. We are supposed to practice mirroring our shadow with our light and bringing the shadow to light. And if you guys don't really understand that dynamic and what I've been saying in the live stream so far, I do highly recommend you guys check out my Instagram. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I have when I make and post on Instagram, a lot of the posts that I make, the captions are coming from my heart and soul. And I kind of talk about like that in-between stage, the stage in transformation, the stage in self-growth and the healing journey that feels so freaking uncomfortable. And I feel like a lot of us are going through that right now because of eclipse season kind of forcing us to shed things, whether we want to or not, look at things, whether we want to or not. This is the time to look at those things. So if you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, I do highly recommend you guys just check out my Instagram to get more clarity because I do dive into it a lot because that is the season in life that I'm at right now. Okay? And you are good enough. I think that source just wanted me to cut the deck and say that last thing. You don't think you're capable, but you've always been. This is about taking accountability and ask yourself, why did I develop this imposter syndrome in the first place? So that is the third thing. And I send you guys so much love because I know this stuff is really intense, okay? Like, I want to validate that whatever you guys are feeling or are going through right now, I know that the way I'm talking can be pretty cutthroat, but I really do think that source wanted me to come in hot and heavy like this today because it's like a no BS energy right now. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I've been feeling it really aggressively. So, and I think this is like those moments where we need to hear it this way for it to click. So I really hope that it's helping. But the next thing before we go into the medicine that is meant to carry us forward into this Libra season is relating. So now this is where we're going to marry all the self-growth talk that we just did and see how we can carry this into our relationships and how we can show up in that and with connections, with balance. So let us do this. How can we carry this reset into our relationships and connections with balance? Like, how can we show up in our relationships moving forward to honor everything that we have or are meant to plant seeds for? Because you guys are being given an opportunity for a new beginning, something you didn't think you were capable of. This is the seeds that want to be planted in honor of this new moon in Virgo, guys. So let us see. How can we carry this reset into our relationships? Whoever comes across this live stream, whether it be the replay or whether it be right now, how can they carry this reset into their relationships? Queen of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Okay. I actually appreciate this. I like this. I like the cards that came out for this because the back of the deck we have the Five of Wands, the Nine of Wands here with the Queen of Cups. Okay. So like I said, there is some cutthroat energy here. There's some brutal energy here. It's very uncomfortable. The fact that the Queen of Cups came up and the Nine of Wands wanted to come out along with it, how can we carry this reset into our relationships and connections? The way that Source wants you to show up in these connections, it's not going to be familiar. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It feels like you guys are being called to be more vulnerable and willing to let your soft side show. And that is not going to be easy. I can see we got the Nine of Wands. This is not going to feel fun. But the more that you learn how to let that part of you shine, the less that mask that you used to put up to like hide your truth is going to feel the need to come up. It's like the more that you show the parts of you that you normally wouldn't show in relationships, specifically in your closest connections, during the next 3 weeks, like that's what's going to be like the missing piece to helping you realize you've had support all along, but you had to show your truth to get it. Because it's like you never showed that truth. So what made you think that like you kept putting, there was some weird illusion you were feeding yourself into thinking that people don't care about you. But there are a lot of people that do. And you just need to be like more in your softness. And your softness is where like the warmth lies. It's where the dreams lie. It's the things that are so near and dear to our heart. It's that mushy, soft, gooey insides, right? But a lot of you guys have had armor, have had shields and defense around your heart. And so the more that you are willing to let that all down, let that all fade away and show your truth and shine in your truth during your relationships, during this time, in your relationships, that's really going to help you realize like how many people are really on your side. And it's going to start shedding clarity that you are capable of doing this. And I am going to be honest with you, I do feel like this is going to be super uncomfortable. It's a lot easier said than done. I feel like I am personally going through a process of this as well for myself in my own personal relationships, in my romantic relationship. Like, for example, right now, because I'm very open with you guys, one thing that I used to have a lot of trouble with in my relationship romantically was to be 100% expressive about how I am feeling or what I am going through internally, like mentally. Like if I have a challenge or something that I'm working on, I have a lot of trouble expressing how much stress I am under, because I like to say my love language is consideration, and it's because I didn't get that growing up. And so, you know, right now, one of the hardest things is showing up in my truth in my relationships, but I'm still doing it. And I'm telling you, the more you do it, the easier it gets. I'm still moving through it, and there are moments where I do like notice my nervous system like shoot up. But then it's like I remember why I do this. I remind myself my emotional why, and I don't let the fear control me anymore, because what do? I let go and I embrace. So there we go for that. And for the forward medicine, to finish up this live stream, my beautiful souls, I actually got out the cards in advance so we can kind of just hop into it together. So we have, okay. Oh, so this wanted to slide out. I'm going to share this with you guys because maybe someone that watches this needed to hear it. Who or what is triggering you? So I do know that there are things in the inner world that need to be explored. It's showing us here again and again. So we got, in terms of what wisdom is meant to carry us forward from this eclipse energy into Libra season that starts tomorrow. We have 2 self-awareness cards that came out, 3 mantras that came out, and a starseed card. So, see, like, you guys are on a mission right now. Like, you guys have been on a journey. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. I feel like some of you guys had like a dream, had like a download, had a gut feeling, maybe an epiphany like moment the last couple of days where you're like, holy moly, like, I think this is how I want to do it. I think this is how I want to show up. There was something that I think this eclipse season has really taught me and showed me, and it was helping me release a lot of my shame I put on myself when I did my business startup the first time 4 years ago. And that version of me 4 years ago is very different in comparison to the version of me now. How Ahimsa Heals wanted to show up was very different in comparison to the version that Ahimsa Heals is now. And it's like, I really think I used to avoid how to show up, how the ways that I need to show up, to fully shine in Ahimsa Heals and show Ahimsa Heals to the world because of that first startup. And, I had an epiphany come through me a couple days ago on an idea that I want to do, but I'm not going to say it's a surprise, and it's going to be created, I think, during the winter season, because this is something that's going to take its time. But it just popped through in my head, and I was like, holy crap, why is this the thing that popped through in my head? Because that's the thing that I never thought I would ever do ever again or consider doing again because of how much shame I used to carry. And literally, I'm saying, that's what eclipse season is preparing you to do. The thing that you thought you would never think twice about again, it's being asked to be looked at again, because you are capable of doing it. And I have goosebumps. I'm so proud of us. I really hope that whoever comes across this, they listen to this and they're like, oh my God, I know what she's talking about. This is what I gotta do. You guys probably have had little moments. Maybe you saw repeating numbers. I don't know why. I just feel like whoever is listening to this, has had some weird, spiritual nudges to the thing that I'm referencing. And you guys should know what I'm talking about if it clicks. So, okay. The other cards we have here to finish up, my beautiful souls, I'm going to read the self-awareness soul truth cards, and then we're going to finish up by sharing the mantras that I pulled out for you guys to finish up, okay? So the first self-awareness card we had is, what can I burn? And I'm going to read it because I realized that you guys aren't able to see it facing forward. It's backwards for you guys. I hate that. That really sucks. I don't like how it does the mirror thing. It says, okay, burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you're not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today's soul action. Make the choice that you will no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? Oh my God, I have goosebumps. Tell me that is not the most aligned card. And I got these cards out. I did not look at them ahead of time. I pulled these out before I started and I put them under my table. It has like a little like pocket spot, and I just looked at them now with you. This is literally aligned exactly with what we spoke about. So like, that is mind blowing. And the last self-awareness soul truth card we have received is, what is my body telling me right now? Okay, I'm gonna read it. So I hope I am speaking very clearly because I know you guys can't see it. It's the backwards letters for you guys. Our body speaks to us through physical pain or discomfort. Our body sends messages for us to look more deeply. See the trapped emotions, the lurking fears and beliefs that limit you. Listen to your physical body, and you will be led to the source of your pain. It's time to get your healing on. I really want you guys to listen. I think I'm gonna share a link to my Spotify playlist on my live chat for you guys. Because I really feel like some of you, I don't know if you guys are open to it, I don't know if you have a safe space to do this where you are. I really recommend all of us to just pick, or maybe you guys do it, pick one song that feels like healing for you. Pick a song that makes your hips want to move, that makes you want to like just release. I don't know how to explain it. And I know that you guys know what I'm freaking talking about because we have all had moments in our life where we listen to a song and we want to cry, where we listen to a song and we can't control what our body wants to do in that moment. I feel like we're all being asked to just, in those 4 minutes of a song, 3, 2 minutes, however long that song might be, the song that you're going to choose right now, use that song, that moment, to envision the future you loving and holding the you that you've been so ashamed of all this time. The you that used to hide behind the masks. Let yourself and your body, your energy and your body marry each other in that moment. I challenge you guys. I really feel like this is going to be so healing for you. Even if Kiki is saying that she is in pain now, I hope that it's not physically, like she can't move. But if that is the case, even just playing the song and lying in bed or wherever you are, a safe space where you can just hold space for yourself in that moment to let the song come through and picture this you, the healed version of you, holding and loving the you that never got that validation, that never got that recognition in that moment. Because I'm telling you right now, if you can do that for yourself in this moment, my love, your whole new reality can begin. Sometimes we just gotta look at the things that scare us the most so we don't become them. We run away and we will become them. If we face them head on, we can befriend them and maybe even see them lead us closer to the very truth that leads us to the future we want. So that is your challenge. And let us finish it up. Let's finish up this stream nice and hard and heavy and well with the mantras, the affirmations that wanted to come through for you beautiful souls. We actually ended up getting 3. I was planning on just getting 1. So maybe like pick the one that resonates with you the most, okay? When I lean toward love, I am led. When I lean toward love, I am led. When I lean toward love, I am led. Okay. The next one. I am the dreamer of my dream. I am the dreamer of my dream. I am the dreamer of my dream. Lastly, the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. You are already on your way. My beautiful souls. I really, from the bottom of my heart, hope that this live stream was able to provide some insight, provide some clarity, and just help you feel like where you're at is exactly where you're meant to be, because it is. It's always been. We can't control the pacing, but what we can control is our now and how we deal with where we're at. How can you find freedom or get a little bit closer to freedom right now? So, you know, if you guys were here and you were able to hold space for yourself, listening to the cutthroating things that we kind of spoke about or touched upon, I am so ridiculously proud of you. And I know that stuff is hard. I know it's hard stuff to look at. I know it's hard stuff to hold space for, but you guys are here. You guys did it. And I'm just so proud of you. Even if you're listening to it in the replay, you know, you showed up, and that is what matters. So I'm just going to be grabbing my camera so I can end this. And I really hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your evening. Thank you for letting me hold space for you in this moment to get to kind of reflect on what eclipse season has been about. And, you know, we get to start autumn equinox together now. So, you know, I'll see you at the other side of that. And remember, this is the time to shed. This is the time to release the things that are no longer serving us so we can move into winter season, or dark nights of the soul, the hibernation moment, with more clarity and understanding of what we are meant to let die so we can come up even stronger. And I'm finishing this looking up at my time, and it is 1111. So if that's not a confirmation, I don't know what is.